can see here, I have my ukulele with me, and if I strum it, unfortunately it sounds very out of tune. So I'm going to show you how to tune the ukulele, and you can tune your ukulele along with me at home. Now before we start, it's really important that we know the names of all the strings on the ukulele in order to tune it correctly. Now the way we know the names of the strings is through a phrase, and that phrase is, greedy caterpillars eat apples. That's greedy caterpillars eat apples. Now, what does that mean? Well, if I bring the ukulele a bit closer to you, you can see the first string on our ukulele, the one closest to us, is the G string. Now that stands for greedy. The next string along is the C string, and that stands for caterpillars. The string after that is the E string, and that is eat. And finally, we have the A string here, which is apples. Greedy caterpillars eat apples. G string, C string, E string, A string. And so those are the strings of the ukulele, as you can see, the 4 strings. Now when we tune our ukulele, it's really important that we know the names of the strings so we know what we're tuning each string to. Before we start tuning, it's also really important to note at the top here we have the head of the ukulele, and we have these things here called the tuning pegs or tuners. And these things we turn to the left or to the right, and that will tune, or that will raise or lower the pitch of the string. And we're going to be using these to tune our ukulele. As you can see, if we follow this string up, it connects to different tuners. So the G string connects to this tuner here. The C string goes all the way up to this tuner here. The E string goes all the way up to this tuner here. And finally the A string connects to this tuner here. So if I follow the G string up to this tuner, I turn it to the left, it raises the pitch. If I turn it to the right, it lowers the pitch. Now the way we're going to tune our ukulele is using an app, which is free to download on any phone or tablet. There are other ways of tuning, including a clip-on tuner, which we can also use, or there are other apps available, but the app I'm going to be using today is called Guitar Tuner. So I'm just going to open it up on my screen now. So this is Guitar Tuner, and when you open up the app, we see there is a guitar, there's the top of a guitar, and we need to change that to a ukulele in order to tune this. So if we click the top left-hand side of the screen where it says Standard, and we select ukulele, soprano and C, and that will take us to the ukulele. Now, when we have the ukulele here, we can see that the microphone picks up different sounds, and we want that to pick up the sound of our ukulele. So if I play this G string, we can see that it says E, but we actually want it to sound like G. So we need to turn our tuning peg to the left in order to raise the pitch from E all the way up to G. And we want the black circle to hit the red line. And when it hits the red line, you'll hear it makes the sound that tells us our string is in tune. So we slowly turn. We want this to sound like G. As you can see, G has popped up on the screen now, and it says too low. So we need to keep turning to the left in order to raise the pitch. So that's the G string. The next string we're going to tune is the C string. So we'll play the C string. It says it's too high, so we need to turn our tuning peg to the right in order to lower the pitch. So we slowly turn the tuning peg. And you can see we're getting closer to that red line. There we go. So that's now in tune. When we have that little green tick, that tells us the string is in tune. Now be aware the microphone will pick up your voice or any other sounds going on, so make sure that you're very quiet and the microphone can only pick up the sounds of the strings. Let's try the E string now. Okay, so this is too low. Remember the E string, on this side of the ukulele we need to turn our tuning pegs to the right. And as you can see, it approaches the red line. Now the E string is in tune. Let's double check that. Good. And finally we have the A string. This is our final string, so let's hear how this sounds. Okay, so this is too high, so we need to turn our tuning peg, which connects to the A string, to the left in order to lower the pitch. Good, so now all of our strings are in tune. We need to double check them all to make sure they're definitely in tune. So here's the G string to start with. So that's okay. Let's try the C string now. Good, so that's fine. Let's try the E string. That's lovely, that's nice and tuned. And finally the A string. Good, and let's finally check our ukulele by playing a simple chord. This is the C chord, and we're going to press down, using our first finger, we're going to press down the 3rd fret, so 1st, 2nd, 3rd fret of the A string, and we're going to strum all the strings, and we get a nice C chord, and that tells us that our ukulele is in tune.